Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back everybody to a little bit more of our Soul Character Challenge with the Dancer, where we literally just made it past the poor boss wall. And now we get to have some more fun with our friend Gilgamesh, who is going to be a bit tricky too, but we can work with it. So yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Did I miss anything in particular? I'm not gonna be able to catch up onto everything in chat, but if I miss anything in particular that is noteworthy, feel free to repeat it or anything like that. Oh, I missed a rumper read. Rump. Gilgamesh morphing time. Not yet. Soon. When you do summoner, are you planning on getting as many optional summons as you can? Sure, why not? I don't really have any other reason to scale the Phoenix Tower, so I might as well do it with a summoner. I did in my very first solo run completely defeat Bahamut and also Leviathan. Welcome back to your struggle with 3 chickens. Thank you. They are now kitchen knifed. Alrighty, so this guy here, he has 6,500 HP, after I deal 4,000 damage, he will go into his phase 2, and the phase transition is kind of spooky because he casts haste, armor and shell on himself, essentially halving all the damage that we deal to him. So 2 sword dances would put him just below the threshold, or above I guess, depending on how you look at it. So he is actually incredibly fast when he is hasted. Alrighty, so we are at... I want to try something. We are just kind of above the threshold where he will switch to his next phase. What I want to test real quick, I should probably just use an elixir, is... Can I use Flirt as soon as he goes? No. Oh, right, Flirt never works on heavy enemies, plus he's faster than me anyways. I wanted to see whether I could use Flirt on him, and then immediately after attack him, and maybe he would skip his phase transition, but that doesn't work. Alrighty, I'm going to give him 1 whack. Alrighty, we are just before the phase transition now. So either I use a Mage Masher, which has a 1 in 4 chance to proc silence, or I go for the 1 in 4 Sword Dance, which brings him a lot closer to death, but I would need like 4 more attacks afterwards. So I'm going for the Mage Masher. Let's hope this works. Ah, it didn't. Alrighty, we are likely going to die here, because his jump deals so much damage now. Actually, I guess his jump doesn't deal much more damage than his physical attacks. But you cannot block it, which is kind of the big problem about it. And he goes like 4 times before I go once. Electric Shock is the weakest thing he can do, so I appreciate if you do that exactly. I think I want to go ahead and not equip an elixir on my left hand. Guardian Dagger again. Do you want to elixir or do I just dance? How much HP do I have? 450. 2 jumps and I'm dead. Let's just try. Ah, that's the wrong one. Okay, we probably survive 1 more turn, so I will want to use an elixir. No. Oh, okay, jump does more damage than I anticipated. So now we just need to get a bit lucky with him not jumping, preferably, and us using a few sword dances. You think this is Breath of Fire too, Yaga? With equipping healing items and all? Actually, I have no idea about Breath of Fire 2. I should play that game sometime. What are we preparing for kitchen for lunch/dinner? Well, celery, onions, chicken bouillon, rice. Always rice. So I think I probably want to just go for the sword dance next time. Carrots? No carrots. I didn't cut. I didn't chop up any carrots. They were not on the order. So basically I prepare the stuff and then it's going to get assembled by not me. I'm just gonna... Come on! Get lucky maybe? He's gonna go 3 times now, isn't he? Here's a sword dance. And unfortunately that jump will kill me. That's okay. I did not want to use that many elixirs, which is why I started playing so risky towards the end. I could have just healed, but I would have to spend more time to just restock on elixirs if I want to get anywhere really. So 107, 1 on Gilgamesh on the bridge. Carrots do not exist. Yep. I mean, we do have carrots actually in the fridge at the bottom. I just didn't cut that beneath. Mustard Bomb does always around 300 damage. At least from those guys. And inflicts HP leak status, so it's more than 300 usually. One sword dance. Aha! 2 sword dances. Aww. Oh, 2 sword dances. I don't know whether I can do a physical attack. I'm just gonna keep dancing at this point. Oh. Well, that's actually kinda bad. We did almost 6,000 damage. 1 more sword dance will do him in, but I don't know whether I'm going to survive until then. He might just kill me right here. Please don't kill me. I didn't think that went through. I should have healed before. I didn't expect another sword dance so quickly. I expected like a jitterbug to it that heals me a little bit sometime. Oh well. Three corpses count as people? I mean, of course they do. Only because they are dead, they don't occupy any less physical space. Let's put it that way. What did I just get? I don't even know what those things drop. What do little chariots drop? Oops, did anyone pay attention? I dropped my controller by accident. Hey Wells, welcome. How are you doing? You assume corpses are there to carry all the items in the inventory? Yes. Yes, that's how that works. Kind of like Wizardry 6. So for some reason, carrying corpses that carry items is easier than just carrying corpses, the items themselves. Yes. Always true, isn't it? So I'm gonna wait until he attacks. Use an elixir to heal up to full this time. And then we hope for another sword dance right away. You could block that one, that would be good. Oh, that's bad. Done with work, about to eat. Enjoy your food. Glad to hear you're doing good. If he jumps twice, I'll accept my defeat. If he doesn't just jump, I will keep fighting. Or try to anyways. If I die to a single sword dance, I would heal, so as to a single jump I mean, I would have healed. But I died to 2 jumps. I like how Goblin Punch is more like a Giblin Pinch. Also welcome to Pika Scratch. I've seen you earlier, but I don't think I said hi yet. And also welcome to anybody who is lurking or has been around. PJ host? Did I miss a PJ host? Maybe I would host. Thank you for good luck on the thingy, Paladin. And welcome anybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing excellent today. Or tonight, depending on how you're looking at it. What did I get? I just need to look that up now. Lil Chariot. Lil Chariot. They don't drop anything. I think it's the PJ raid. Oh, an entire one? Wow, that's unfortunate. Thank you very much, PJ, for the host and the raid, and welcome everybody. If anybody does not know PJDC there, he's a fantastic personality and really awesome guy. And I highly recommend you check out his channel once in a while, because it's really great. I really enjoy it there. We said good luck on thing. Ah, thank you guys. So yeah, I apologize for, well, just kind of by virtue of being not here for a while. I kind of missed that, but thank you very much. That's one sword dance. Hopefully no jitterbug duets anymore, otherwise the sword dance is going to be pushing him over the edge just slightly, which is less pleasant. Hey PJ! Oh, there's a jitterbug. Uh-oh. Bird. That bird looks amazing. I'm just gonna fight him, Yon. Meow? I'm gonna attack him 3 times. Wow, he really does not like me right now. Do not put pizza in the food box, it'll clip through the floor. I believe it. Alright, now we try to dance. If we get a sword dance, we are going to be in pretty good shape. If we get a jitterbug, then we are not in such good shape. If we get a mystery waltz or tempting tango, it doesn't do anything. Unless we get like 20 well actually more like 100. Actually, it's like 160 mystery waltzes in a row. Oh, that's bad. Okay, it didn't actually push him, that's good. We actually need 160 mystery waltzes in a row in order to run him out of magic, which would also work to prevent him from using his ridiculousness in phase 2. For those SSCCs, are you doing the side stuff too? Flare, Holy Phoenix, all 4 tablets? Generally speaking, I don't plan to do that for all of them, unless it either has something interesting to them, or whether it might have something thematic, so to speak. Like if it's just... the character doesn't really have any clever solution to defeating bosses and just uses whatever I've used already in previous iterations or previous fights. I will probably not bother going there. But let's say a summoner, I'm going to go up to Phoenix Tower, I'm going to get Bahamut, fight Leviathan. Or if it's some class that can use a lot of different weapons, I might just get all the tablets for that, such as the Bear Drop class and stuff like that. I will probably eventually do the advanced classes, yes. So that's that. So I'm gonna wait until he uses another attack here. And just heal before we go into phase 2. Still hoping for that sword dance. Or I could just attack him and hope for a Mage Master proc. You know what, let's just do that instead. Maybe get lucky. I just did both. That's not good because it's not nearly as much damage. Mage Master. Come on, proc. Oh, it actually did. Thanks. I was wrong! Haste. Ineffective. I can't fight 4 people. Ineffective. Shell. I don't stand a chance! Ineffective. Jump. Ha ha ha. So, did you believe me? He is now significantly slower. As a matter of fact, just only marginally faster than me. He still does a lot of damage, but I can now react a lot better to it, and also my damage is not halved, thanks to him, well, not having that ridiculous amount of haste, and shell, and armor, and stuff. So Mage Masher has a 1 in 4 chance to possibly proc, and then it has like a... I have no idea what the chance is to it. Like probably 70-80%. Not guaranteed, but pretty high chance. And that just happened. And now we should be able to finish him off without too much trouble. He still does as much damage as he did before, and if I keep getting tempting tangles and mystery waltzes, we are not going to arrive at the end game anytime soon. There's a sword dance. Just one more of those and we will win. Actually, I probably should just physically attack him 3 times and he's done. I will just do that actually. So essentially the Mage Master is going to be the weapon of choice here for a lot of the lower offense variants of characters, since they don't really have a good way of bursting through the second phase. So I might as well do that. The thing is, if you got here as a white mage, I hope you prepared well enough that you would have no trouble with this guy at all. I didn't do the walking proper. There's a pattern where you don't get into any encounters with those guys at all. So, those fishmen, or Sahagin I guess, are weak to lightning. However, the Neogalura does actually absorb lightning. So, even though he's blue, he likes to absorb lightnings from you. But he doesn't exactly survive a sword stance, so we're all good. A blurb? I forgot where the blurb is from. Oh, we got a high potion earlier from one of the little chariots. It's a rare drop. 1 in 16 chance. Lucky. And at the same time, not all that useful anymore, because finally we'll be able to actually buy high potions, which up until now we could only buy potions which heal 50, and now we can buy high potions which heal for 500. And that's, well, we don't have any other way of healing really. Aside from using tents, which relives our other characters, which is kind of awkward. Plus, you can only use those on save points and or the overworld. Ramles, thank you for the host and the raid, I appreciate that. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon everybody, and welcome. I hope you guys are doing well. So, we are already level 40. I don't feel the need to defeat the enemies along the way in order to gain any marginal amount of experience or money. So we just kind of keep walking at this point. Oh, by the way, the way I'm going to be handling it, there's going to be one extra thing I will do. For one of the job classes I earlier mentioned I probably wouldn't do, I'll just do it. And that is, I'm going to close the votes for which job class to play next at the end, as soon as the end appears of the previous run. And the reason is, in case we get a knight, or maybe a bear job class, I will be getting a brave blade instead, which means no more running from encounters at all. Dancing flirting butts, yep, that's what he is. Alrighty, we actually get a new weapon here, but that's not going to last long, because we will get a dancing dagger instead soon. However, the Orihhalcon is going to be my best weapon that does reliable damage with just a regular attack, so I'm just gonna get one. And yes, dancing butt still, because we only just... How long did it take us? Took us like 4 or 5 hours to get past the wall of Purebulos in order to get here. That's that. So, helmet, I will never ever find a better one than what we have currently for the dancer. The ribbon is just too good. So we have stealth gear or Gaia gear. I think Gaia actually has more magic evasion, which I don't think is going to be relevant, but who knows. Just buying one. Oh, I already have stealth. Right. Gaia actually has only slightly less defense. If you have a summoner, you actually want the Gaia gear, because Gaia gear improves your attack attack power of your summon magic for Titan by 50%. You also want some revivifies in case our other people get turned into zombies. Also, I think somebody wants to say hi. Hello. I don't know whether you guys can hear that, but... Yep, there it is. Hey there. Meow. I'm not good at meowing. Kitty!
Sorry, it's not a real kitty, it's just me.
A fake kitty. How could you? But it's pretty awesome anyways. Katie! Nice. I like you, Reconnectolus. Well, I knew that before, but that's good. By the way, those fairy orcs, if you try to fight them, they will revive any fallen ally of yours, but turn them into zombies. This is literally the first time you can actually have the zombie status effect on any of your characters. Kitsura? Yep. Very Kitsura. It's okay, you have a real kitty right here. I would like to have a kitty. So, alrighty, here on the water we are getting attacked by Moogle Eaters. I'm gonna kill all those Moogle Eaters, I don't want them to eat Moogles. They attack me with 8 legs, which is kind of painful. Oh, and they survived 2 attacks. Maybe I'm not going to kill all the Moogle Eaters. One of your 3 kitties came up for some pets when Kishura started meowing. Nice. Sword dance. Aw, that's not the right one. If you catch and then release a Moogle Eater, you will get Aqua Rake. It's not the strongest Aqua Rake, but it is decent for certain purposes. Come on. Alrighty. Stomach acid? Ew. How much experience do we get from those? 1,330. That is actually quite a lot. Huh. Maybe farming for later on is not quite as effective as I would like it to be inside the Lonka ruins. Although it's definitely way better than anything else you can go for in the first world. But the second world might just have better options, I guess. Flying water, dancing butts kick. Something like that. Vampire. Vampire deals damage equivalent to how much HP you have lost and absorbs it to you for yourself. It is blue magic. In a second. It is blue magic and you can essentially learn about blue mage. Can be quite useful in pinches. Also, this is the reason why this thing continuously takes damage. Also, Xcodes, I should ask you a question. Should you leave the celery in or take them out? Yeah, should you leave... Oh my god. Should you take the celery leaves out or leave them in for chicken noodle soup? It's a really difficult sentence when you should leave the leaves in or not. So upcoming we actually have a little mini boss fight, but let's put it this way. You can just use a phoenix down on him and he will die. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. You could try to fight him straight up, but I really don't recommend you do that. Quite simply because he has a move that deals damage equivalent to how much HP he has lost so far. And he has a lot more HP than me, so I would likely just straight up die. So let's not do that. You don't put them in the first place. Alrighty. Did you hear that? For the broth is the answer. If you were to put them in, you would put them in when it's finished. Alrighty, thank you for the answer. I appreciate that, Xcodes. You just use the stalks in the broth. Okay. Too late, I was informed, but probably going to taste pretty good anyways. So let's see, what would be a good place to stop for the time being? I think after all the cutscenes would be a good time, or I go up until... You know what? I think I'm going to try and defeat the dragon pot, and then that will be it for today. So at least another hour, I would guess, we play here. And Blind Umpire, or Blind Umpire, thank you for the host. I appreciate that. Welcome, hope you're doing well. You think that was bored? Yep, that was bored. You must construct additional pylons. That's the way the cookie turns out to be a train. Alright, this guy here, as mentioned before, you can try to take him on the normal way. I don't recommend it. Because, at least not for a solo character challenge. If you would like to do so with an entire team, then that makes a whole lot more sense, because you can only one-shot one of your characters at a time. That's fair, Xcodes. But at the same time, even if it's tasty, that doesn't mean you couldn't experiment with doing differently too, I guess. Because it might be even more tasty, who knows? Or you just like it the way it is. So this little Moogle tells us, don't go in the sand, that's really not a good idea. So instead, it just kind of leads us all the way on the left side, and then to the right side, then a little down, then a little up, a little more up, to the left, back up, to the right, and then down, and then we're finally there. So you can actually walk across the sand. What it happens is that there's encounters that you cannot run away from. The encounters are very much not worth fighting, outside of one specific reason. Because the encounters contain one of the enemies that has like 20,000 HP. A sand monster which uses Maelstrom, which has a chance to hit all of your party members and put them into critical HP. And then it just attacks you. So it does a lot of damage in a sense, and it's generally really annoying to deal with, so don't recommend going into the sand unless you have a Beastmaster. If you have a Beastmaster, it actually works out surprisingly well that you can end up just catching one of those guys and use Maelstrom against enemies. Specifically the crystals tend to be a really easy matchup for a Beastmaster. Good morning to you, Josiah, welcome. Nothing beats yoga and breakfast. Enjoy your breakfast, and well, I hope you enjoy your stay. Was that benevolent or cruel? I'm not sure what you mean. So you need to actually talk to the little Moogle here, otherwise the timer for him to appear in front of the door will never advance. Also, here's Mangil. Hooray. We get also Dancing Dagger. So this is our first new weapon. That's not entirely true. That is kind of our first new weapon in a while. And the Dancing Dagger allows us to attack physically and have a well, actually a 50-50 chance to use a dance instead of a attack, which is not always desirable. Plus, as a dancer, we can force the dance anyways, so it's not the best dagger in terms of effect. However, the Dancing Dagger is actually a really strong weapon per se. Like, it's just strong. So I will be using the Dancing Dagger, but for now, since I don't really plan on fighting anything, I'm going to keep the Guardian Dagger in hand, since that has a 1 in 4 chance for me to block attacks as well. Physical attacks specifically. You have some delicious coffee. Nice. So I'm curious, who here has played some of those point-and-click adventure games where you die every wrong turn, like the King's Quest and such? There's been a certain point-and-click game you've been trying to find but can never remember the name, only a few scenes from the game. I know about a few, so maybe we can help, Kaneki. It's weirdly good for berserkers. Yeah, actually, the interesting thing to me about berserkers is if you just give them any weapons aside from axes, they suddenly skyrocket in power. Like, just give a berserker a bow, that deals a lot of damage. Or give a berserker a, I don't know, a whip. They do really well with whips as well. Toying around with that poor Moogle again. Yeah, I need the elf cape. I'm sorry, Looney. Do berserkers do more with random weapons than axes? It's more like, let's put it this way. For some weapons, yes, like the Hayari bow or the Dancing Dagger, they usually deal more damage. That's just because those weapons are inherently really strong. However, for others, it's more like they are a lot more consistent because axes are just horribly inconsistent since they have not a particularly great chance to hit. Yes, I have 2 elf capes now. Oh yeah, actually, I don't need a second one, that's true. I usually need a second one because I normally play the solo challenges with fairies, and the second elf cape is really nice for dealing with the antlion with a level 2 and the level 1 character. But I don't have Ferris in the lead now. Sorry, Moogle, you can't have your health cape back. And your heart. I'm sorry. And yes, Axis ignored 3/4 of the enemy's defense, which is really good. It's just, they don't... If Berserkers were to use the aim command, if you give them a command, that would kind of make them significantly more useful already. Actually, you know what? Berserkers using the command that you give them by default would just kind of be the best case scenario. Since you could give them X-Fight, you could give them aim. Aim alone is actually just really good, since it never misses. And yes, with Red Armor Fort, I absolutely agree. Dancing Dagger is just really good, and as a Berserker, can also use it. You want to do 4 circles from the Wind Crystal sometime? You hadn't even considered weapon usages. I think actually, even though you could technically use other weapons, if you learn them from other classes, the main reason why you would want to equip certain equipable weapons from, let's say, the Ranger to equip bows is because they actually transfer their agility over to Berserker. So that would kind of be the main use, I would say. A Guildtoss Berserker. Guildtoss actually does not deal damage based on your attack strength, it's just based on your level and the enemy's defense. Alright, I actually need to go and grab something to drink real quick. Filling up my water bottle, so be right back. Alrighty, let's continue. You've had a Berserker with a Dancing Dagger Forge of Esther before, he was really good. Yeah, it's very variable. I'd have to say, Berserker with a Dancing Dagger is cute, but not necessarily as effective as other characters with Dancing Daggers, unless you just don't have any other character class that has any particularly high strength value. Because usually it's better for the Berserker to just attack normally than use the Dancing Dagger and do nothing but Bitterbug Duets and Mystery Waltzes, since their magic stat is so low, or Tempting Tangos, that matter. So we could buy some stuff here, but it's really not necessary. Because in the next town, the stuff is a lot more accessible and they have everything they sell here too. And more actually, which is kind of what I'm looking for. I don't know whether Dancer can equip the +3 strength equipment. There's a headband, which, since we have a ribbon, that's kind of pointless anyways. But there's also a strength armor. It's +3 strength, so it would be potentially really good. Before I go outside here, I'm gonna go down into the basement and save. So this is not something I did earlier with a Dragoon, but I probably should have, because it's very easy to accidentally die against the mini boss encounter that comes up here, because he can use Hurricane, which puts you into critical HP and then just straight up kill you. If you have a character that can use regular swords, or night swords for that matter, if you have night. There's an episode that you can pick up right now by going into the water and walk around the trench and pick it up from the other wall. The episode is actually pretty strong for a while. Yeah, Berserker agility is just atrocious. The thing is, they usually take 2 turns until they finally move, which is why it feels like they are even slower than they actually are. And there's a hurricane. Here I am, rocking like a hurricane. Whew. Oh yeah, never mind. The vampire is the dangerous part about them, rather than the hurricane. Vampire once again deals damage equivalent to how much HP you are missing. So that could be really, really bad. Thankfully, it was not an issue. I'm going to start using up all the potions because now that I have high potions, I don't really have any use for regular potions in combat anymore, and I don't plan on buying them either. Alrighty, so now here we go through these little planes, and this is also where or why I bought some revive FF5, since certain enemies in here can go quick enough that they can just one move in, and that move might be reviving one of your dead characters into being zombies, which is not the greatest. So of course we have some more cutscenes and more cutscenes and more cutscenes before we finally get to the Drakenvale. We just take one step in and then back outside in order to trigger this cutscene here. Blobber just runs, but Blurb is the nice slime that feeds Rabbite. That's right. Blurps are nice. Slimes, maybe not so much. I really need to try out that Ragnarok Online mobile thing. I dare to say that's quite literally the first time since... actually, I guess the second time since Pokemon Go. Since that I've ever been actually really intrigued and interested in playing a mobile game. Because that just looks really good. And probably it's just mostly because that's exactly how I hoped Ragnarok Online 2 would be. And it ended up being something completely different and pointless. It wasn't inherently bad, it was just not what I expected or what I hoped for my Ragnarok game titled Ragnarok Online 2 for that matter. Oh, I've actually missed your earlier comment, Kaneki. I was waiting for it for some reason, and then I just completely missed it. Anyways. In this game, you play as a catcher princess trying to escape a castle, and oddly, there's an open door to the outside. But if you try to go there immediately at the start of the game, you encounter a dinosaur like a Triceratops or Stegosaurus, and game overs you. Let's see. It's funny that Alpha build of Ragnarok Online too. Oh. Strong's American cartoon or so. Kaneki, that might actually be a King's Quest game. There is various campaigns where you play as different characters. I specifically remember having played King's Quest, I think it was 7 or 8, where one of the campaigns you are actually kind of what you just explained, although I don't remember the Triceratops or dinosaur. It still might be a King's Quest game. Just different part of it, I guess. So there's no new weapons we can get. And stealth, this is the old equipment's piece. Hey, we can get Pandana indeed. Also, we haven't used the power ring so far, although I was kind of glad to try and test it a little bit. Pandana gives +3 strength, which by the way is crazy good. The problem is that our our ribbon gives +5 to all stats. So it's insane. Way better. But still, the bandana is really good, giving +3 strength just like that for most classes anyways. Monkey Islands or Dragon's Lair? The 7 Star 2 princesses has one custom into a troll. I don't really remember how it worked. The main thing I remember about the King's Quest game that I played was that you mainly, at least in the very first chapter, which I have actually never gotten past the first chapter without just selecting the second and third and fourth and fifth chapter, which you could for some reason. You start as an elderly woman going around the desert oasis and trying to do stuff. Watch out, Graham! It's a poisonous snake! No snakes here. Think that was 4? Nah, you're just dreaming. If you just close your eyes and start running real fast, dinosaurs don't exist. Probably. Alternatively, you just check your inventory and throw some random stuff at them, and they disappear too. It's fine. Snakes! 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 You had no idea how to get past Snake in King's Quest 4? Oh, I see. I've literally only ever played that one King's Quest, and basically it kind of started us in the middle of the story, and I had absolutely no clue what was going on, but it was fun to just kind of point and click and try and get further and further. I think it was chapter 2 in the King's Quest game I played. Let me actually just look up which one it is. King's Quest 7. Let's see. You do play it with that lady that has the green dress. Yes. It's actually King's Quest 7 it is, that I played. The Princeless Bride, apparently it's called. What a name. Could be very well King's Quest 7. Nice. Well, let's hope that's it, Kaneki. Sometimes our memory are a little bit distorted with what we think and how it looked. Such as when I was desperately looking for that one puzzle game for DOS. And actually, it didn't look nearly as good as I thought it did when I finally found it again. And by the way, the puzzle game that I was looking for is named Clone, which is kind of an interesting one, to say the least. And it also has such a generic name that it's really difficult to find. You keep mistaking King's Quest with Questing for Glory. I honestly don't know what Questing for Glory is. Any plans for future Wizardry games? Questing for Glory is a marathon. I know that much. Yes. Any plans for future Wizardry games? I was considering it actually recently. Currently no plans. But if any, I would probably continue with Wizardry 7 either, or I might just start with the first one. Probably the NES version, I would imagine. Questing for Glory is a marathon in references to game series, indeed. Alrighty, so here is where we equip the Dancing Dagger. Once again, it has a fair bit more attack power than our second best weapon. I did just walk past the thing. And it is just stronger than anything else we could use. So, even though we have a ribbon which protects against so many status effects, it does not protect against paralyzation and confusion, which are the two worst status effects in this area here. Oh, I'm a dummy. Ha, I need to go back. Because I've completely forgot the Bone Mail. Because Bone Mail at least protects from confusion. Single zombie dragons we can just phoenix down, get a good chunk of experience, and also Dragon Fang, which is worth 2,500 gold. I mean Quest for Glory? I see. This is kind of probably the very first time I ever forgot about the Bone Mail, to be honest. Bone Mail has ridiculous amount of defense, especially for this point in the game, like just insanely high. The downside is, or upside, depending on how you look at it, is that it makes you undead, which means anything you try to do for healing is going to have the reverse effect. You're going to absorb poison instead, but you also take double damage from fire and also holy elemental attacks. Also, if I use a Phoenix down on myself by accident, I'm gonna instantly kill myself. So let's not do that. A bone-headed move, forgetting the Bone Mail. Something like that. Alrighty, so the main reason why I want to have the Bone Mail right now is because of the upcoming boss. The upcoming boss consists of five little flowers and one main flower. The main flower keeps reviving the little flowers, which is kind of not so great, because the little flowers, each one of them ignores defense, always hits, is unblockable completely. So they deal about 100 damage per attack. And each one of them inflicts a separate status effect. The bottom left one paralyzes us, so this is actually the flower that I have to attack physically in order to make sure that it does not paralyze us. The one on the right is, I think, the poison flower. The one on the bottom center is, I think, the... Oh, that's the aging one, but we are immune to aging thanks to the ribbon. The one at the bottom, one of them is poisoning, one of them is inflicting darkness status, which I don't care about because Bone Mail. And one of them is Paralyze, Confusion, Darkness, Aging, Poison. Those are the 5. So now we just hope that we get a good chunk of sword dances in, because those things will kill me since I can't heal myself. Like that. Oh, alrighty, by the way. Tempting Tango will confuse the flowers. They are susceptible to status effects. Of course, when they get physically hit, the confusion will end, but until then, the little flower is going to attack its own kin, meaning I don't have to kill it again and worry about the paralyzation. So we just hope for a good amount of sword dances. Jitterbug Dude is okay for healing, but it has a lot of physical magic defense, so it doesn't heal nearly as much as you would like it to. And those little thingies will add up for damage, so we just hope for a good amount of sword dances until the center dies rather quickly. And I don't know whether I can do this with a bone mail. I may have to go with a regular mail and use something else instead, because damage really adds up. So in this, if I can't go with the bone mail, I would have to hit the one on the far left as well, or kill the one on the far left as well, because that's the one that confuses, and bone mail protects me from confusion. Yeah, that thing is dead. I'm okay with this. One sword dance, please. I don't know how much HP this thing has. Oh, I'm dead anyways. Alrighty, rip +1. By the way, I forgot to add the deaths. No, I didn't. That's one death so far. By Gilgamesh on the bridge. Wait, no, we died more. I died more than that. I think that's 3 actually. Just now on your alchemist. Nice. You have credits rolling? That's just weird in an MMO. Alrighty. I'm going to try and do this without a bone mail, instead using the strength armor so I can actually heal myself. I'm not sure how well this will go, or not well will go. I think the idea of killing one of them and then trying to keep the other one confused is probably my best bet. Usually, at the beginning, the little flowers die for whatever reason and then get resummoned. So I'm just gonna try and get a sword dance in right away. Okay. Hope for another mystery waltz. Mystery waltz is the only bad thing that... Oh, Jitterbug Dude also deals 0 because those flowers apparently have so much magic defense, I can't absorb any HP from them. Alright, we are charmed now too. Oh, wait, we are not? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's a neat little bug that I can abuse. You tell me whether I should abuse it or not, by the way. Or if you feel like, yeah, let's not do that. But here's the thing. There's an interesting little bug in this game where, you know, I don't have the bone mail equipped anymore, so I can heal myself. But also, I cannot get confused. And that is because there's essentially a lingering status effect where the game still thinks I have the bone mail equipped, where I actually really don't. Which means the game doesn't realize that it should actually have me get confused, but it doesn't do that, I guess. Yeah, bone mail has charm immunity, but I don't have the bone mail equipped anymore, so I can just heal. Would have been kind of funny if I actually just died because I hit myself for 500. And I actually forgot to unequip the bone mail, but that's kind of a weird side effect of doing this. So you don't have to have the bone mail equipped in order to gain the benefits of it. Which I'm currently contemplating whether I should abuse that or not. All the benefits of the bone mail, none of the instant death. Actually, not all of the benefits of the bone mail. The bone mail makes you undead, which means you are protected against instant death, which I am not. Right now, I can still get instantly killed by stuff. How do you even pronounce that food item? I have no idea. So the thing is, of course, this bug is quite incredibly useful. And can be used by anybody that can equip the bone mail, which I think only white mage and 1 or 2 other classes cannot equip the bone mail. Also, a bone mail helps protect against darkness too, so that helps. And also, I think it helps protect against various other stuff. So, by the way, those little flower thingies, they have a 1 in 3 chance to not do anything. And I kind of need a lot of them to not do anything, especially the one that paralyzes me, so I don't get paralyzed anymore. Otherwise, I'm just straight up dead. Bye. Right, death number 2. So yeah, in order for you to activate that weird bug with the bone mail for the lingering status immunity, you just have to finish a battle, like complete it by beating it. And then unequip the bone mail after. Running away doesn't actually work, but I have plenty of stuff completed before that. Yeah, right now, contemplating. Should I use that? Should I not use that? Because it is also going to be incredibly useful against the final boss, because instead of getting absolutely destroyed by white hole, which petrifies you and also kills you at the same time, it will make you immune to that too. But normally you don't want to use the bone mail in the final boss fight, because it is also kinda bad when you can't heal yourself. There's a few chops that can heal themselves despite having the bone mail equipped. So yeah. That's exactly what I was looking for. Tempting Tango on the little flower, sword dance on the big flower, please. I probably want to heal once I drop below 800 HP, because the thing can just always break out of confusion and then immediately paralyze me without me having an action in between. So, yeah. Hi, potion. By the way, as a white mage you cannot equip the bone mail, and the way you complete this battle is actually quite interesting. You confuse that flower there that just hit itself, unfortunately, because you have a confuse spell, and you also cast blink on them. What blink does is it allows the character who has blink to absorb 2 physical attacks and just nullify them entirely. And essentially you keep the one flower on the far left that confuses and the one that paralyzes confused permanently and also blink permanently, and then you just slowly start chipping away on the thing's health. until it is dead. Unfortunately, I might just die here because Mystery Waltz. Tempting Tango or Sword Dance, both are fine to hit on the little flower, but unfortunately Mystery Waltz is not, and neither is Jitterbug Duet. But I can always get lucky and the little flower decides to just do nothing. Like all his compatriots. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case here, and I might just get clobbered to death again. Very slowly, but effectively. So right now I need the little flower in the bottom left to stop actually using any attacks for one round, otherwise I'm going to get paralyzed immediately again. And that seemed to work. Alrighty. Now we heal up with potions, as we would. If you could just block those attacks, this would make this battle here so much more reasonable. But it's not an option. Oh no, you revived it already? I don't exactly know what the probability or speed is at which it revives, but sometimes it takes ages until the little flower gets back. And sometimes it's instantly there. It's pretty much probably when the big flower gets a turn. And when you kind of get this many nothings in a row, you're bound to die. Alright, let's just go back here. Because we did not even get a single sword dance on the main flower. Maybe I should just use physical attacks. But then I can't really use the dancing dagger. Let's flirt with the thing here and then run away. I'm actually curious, what happens if I try to flirt with the flower? Because you can't flirt with enemies that are heavy, but the flower is not labeled as heavy. You can instantly kill it. Also, by the way, with that specific skeleton dragon, I couldn't because that guy is always heavy. Let's actually see what happens if I flirt. Grrr. Dropping. Dropping essentially means that it just kind of lost its turn, which is a 50-50 chance of happening. Unfortunately... Oh, I can get confused now. Ow. And right after I get demolished. Dancing Butts just flirts with everything, it looks like it. Alright, so I actually have to run away from an encounter with the bone mail equipped in order to trigger this mini bug. I mean, the thing is, I also would take advantage of another bug with the Berserker in order to get through the game, so I'll probably use it. I don't think I want to use anything major though. Like a smaller thing like this one, which I guess you could consider it somewhat major, that we can just gain the immunity without the downside of not being able to heal from the bone mail. Contemplating. Poor golem, left hanging like that. I'm sorry. If he wouldn't just kind of appear in encounters, slap us and then run away, I might be more inclined to help him. Hey, 50 damage on the main flower. I think this thing has like 10,000 HP. Oh no. It has 12,000 HP, so we need 4 sword dances to win. Not on a small flower. It's really not what I'm looking for. You did that wrong way around, Moth. You need to Tempting Tango the flower. And then... Sword Dance the plant instead. The other way around. If I were to guess, it has a 1 in 3 chance to revive the little flower. We did 98 damage to this thing. Not a whole lot. Wait a second. I just had an idea. If I confuse this flower and it hits the main pod... Oh wait, they don't use their special ability when they are confused, they just attack. I was just about to say, if I confuse that thing and it hits the main pod, it actually is going to put the aging status effect on it and it's going to slow down tremendously. But I'm pretty sure they just physically attack when they are confused rather than using their special ability. Which is unfortunate. We're not getting lucky right now at all. If I get confused, I'm gonna just restart. Paralyzed, I mean. It's a 50-50 to actually deal with the little flower. And it's a 1 in 4 to get sword dances on the big flower. Neither of which is happening. What am I using for an accessory? The wrong one, actually, now that I think of it. Body Trializer, you're right. I should be using the power armlet to deal more damage. And hey Trializer, welcome, how are you doing? Hey, I'm using the wrong one, actually. I should be using the power armlet, because you can't dodge those anyways. Well, that's bad, because now my bone meal benefit is gone. Let's just go for it without the bone meal benefit and do it the normal way, I guess. So I'm going to just try again and confuse the paralyzing one and kill the charming flower. That's currently the plan. Hey, we did almost as much damage as last time already. That's a good start, but unfortunately I think it's going to die. But hey, it doesn't paralyze me, so that's a good start. So let's get the Halcon dagger up here. Because I want to just kill this thing, guaranteed. Well, now I have to decide either this one or the other one. I think this one is worse when it hits me. Cave does give some agility. Yeah, but I don't think it's better, honestly. So this is the strategy if I were to not use the bone meal and didn't have the immunity, which, well, I don't right now. And then we hope for a usual dances. You would eventually be able to pull this off successfully too, but it's just a lot nicer if you have to not worry about confusion either. I don't mind you killing that thing, that deals 100 damage per turn. Dance number 3. Nothing. Dance number 4. Sword dance. There we go. 1 sword dance out of 3. Hey, 2 sword dances. Nice. I might actually just go for 3 sword dances and do the rest with physical attacks instead. And yes, we did White Mage and Dragoon so far. Come on! Oh no. So far I've gotten pretty lucky with the thing not reviving the flowers and also the little flower not hitting itself. Not the best luck with sword dances, but it wasn't terrible either. I'm actually going to use a elixir here rather than high potions just so I can get back to trying to hit the thing a bit quicker. Blue Mage is going to be a lot of fun. Oh no. You know what? I'm just gonna kill the thing instead of trying to confuse it now. I feel like we are so close, and I just want to get rid of those. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to... Oh, it decided to not do anything, so I got lucky in that end. Deal about 600 damage with a regular attack. We deal about 3,500 per sword dance, which is only just barely over 1,000 or 10,000 with 3 sword dances. Come on, 1 more sword dance and then we finish it off with physicals. Alright. Good. Oh well, I mean, just a regular sword dance, straight up. I'm okay with this. Okay, we did it without actually the bone mail bug. I approve. Very nice. So essentially, the dancing dagger has a 50% chance to use the dance move instead of attacking normally, and that just happened. And it happened to be sword dance, so that's kinda nice. I wasn't sure whether I should be dancing or whether I should be regularly attacking instead, so I just figured let's just have the coin flip decide for me. And since the dancing dagger is a stronger weapon anyways, with physical attacks rather than the Ari Halcon dagger, which I use to just consistently kill the other things, it ended up working out pretty well. And yes, you always get an elixir from defeating the dragon pod, which is the main reason why I decided to just use an elixir rather than using high potions, so I can get back to hitting the thing a bit quicker. Good thing you can swap weapons mid-battle. Yes, that is actually really handy. I kind of missed that in other certain games, where you get into combat with enemies, your weapon actually heals the enemy and you can't swap it out. Oh, too bad. Rabbit was helping. Rump. I did a solo single... Is solo single class White Mage as painful as it sounds? Kinda, yeah, I would say so. Not as bad as Berserker, but you do need to kind of put your mind to it if you really want to do that. And you also need to do a fair bit of preparation work in order to recognize the dangers that are coming up, because you need 99 elixirs. Well, technically speaking, I did it like with 90, but I took a lot of risks during the fight because I didn't know how far in I was. So you need like 90 elixirs at least, and I did it at level 64 after the Ronka ruins. Worse than Dancer? Oh yeah, White Mage is way worse, because at least as a Dancer, it's a bit random whether you get your damage in or not, because Sword Dance is random by nature. But at least as Dancer you do have decent damage. And just the ability to equip daggers, even with a pitiful string stat, is a huge benefit over the damage output of a White Mage. Where am I from? I am from Switzerland. Do I remember death count and time? I did not keep track of the death count and the time for the White Mage. As a matter of fact, if anybody is interested enough to go through the highlights of the White Mage, figure out the death count for each individual boss, because I'm currently keeping track of each individual boss, you're more than welcome to do so. Time was like 70 hours or so? I don't actually know exactly anymore. So, alrighty, as soon as we get our hero, I think I'm going to be done for today. The next boss coming up is going to be Gilgamesh on the boat, which, by the way, Gilgamesh on the boat is the longest fight for a solo White Mage. I think it took me 6 hours, or was it 6.5, in order to defeat him. It definitely took a long time. And that was just the one successful battle, by the way. There wasn't 6.5 hours until I finally beat him with all attempts. That was one battle, 6.5 hours. Because you first have to run Gilgamesh out of MP in order for him to not use Death Claw on you anymore and potentially straight up killing you, which your chance of block or avoiding Death Claw is pretty decent. Then you need to run Enkidu out of MP, otherwise he's going to eventually straight up kill you with his vampire ability. And then when you finally did that, you are probably slowed and at level 1, because they can use slow and discord, which halves your level. And then you need to slowly plink them to death. Very slowly. Other notable examples which you have to run out of magic in order to defeat is Byblos. As a matter of fact, it is faster to run Byblos out of magic than to attack him straight up like you would with a thief in order to run him out of magic quicker. So that one still took, what, 4 hours? In order to get Byblos dead, because he has the same problem. He can slow you and he reduces your level until you're at level 1. Plus surviving is kind of a struggle against him too. But then probably the most infamous example, I guess, that we have to run out of magic is Atmos. Atmos is the thing that just throws comets at you, and because it has an innate haste effect, it goes between 2 to 3 times each time you can move, and it can each time use comet twice, so up to 6 comets per time you can move. And you have to survive that until he runs out of magic. Since you can't really do the thing that other solo subclasses do, where you just kill off your allies one by one, in order to squeak by him. So yeah, White Mage. And then finally, once you get Holy as your spell in the third world, everything is significantly easier all of a sudden. I have no idea about Yasmat. Oh, wasn't that the Final Fantasy 12 thing? I think. Ah, I see, yeah. I mean, you could say it's more painful, but realistically, I dare to say Yasmat probably takes longer to get to and defeat in the end. I don't actually know that. HDQ European version going, there's actually something akin to that, Vilma. There is the ESA, the European Speedster Assembly, which it does have a bit of a different flair to it, let's put it that way. But that's kind of the closest you will get to that, and it's definitely worth checking out. I can recommend it. But you can leave and save and heal. As long as he doesn't have regen, he won't recover. Oh, interesting. How long does a Yasmat fight take anyways? Okay, this cuts in here, then I go and save afterwards. A damage cap of 10,000, so it's a lot of hits. 10 million HP divided by 10,000. That's about 1,000 hits. Well, it's 5,000 hits with 50 million HP. So 5,000 hits, assuming you always deal max damage. But that doesn't acknowledge that you also have to survive the fight, I guess. Kirandia! Right, that was a game like that as well. I forgot about it. I actually never played it myself, but I had an acquaintance who kind of really liked playing that game. That might be something. Alrighty, so we have managed to break through the Pueblos wall. We have managed to, without too much trouble, I guess, get across the bridge past Gilgamesh and defeat the flower pot without actually even using that bone mailbag, which kind of nice that it happened to work out that way. And well, that is that for now, so I say thank you everybody for watching, for listening, and for lurking, for being around, for being awesome as you are. Well, maybe until next time. Take care everybody, and thank you very much.